So, dudes. So, next on the mini series of how we record shit is drums. This is probably the easiest one. Well, for recording and mixing, we don't have a drummer. So, Ableton does everything. Well, I wrote all of it, but just put it into Ableton. Um, so, this is a free plugin as well. All the plugins I use are free. Everything I did on here was free except for the Ableton. But even that, if you had the 8-track, you could probably get away with it. Maybe just a little less layering, and some tracks that use like choruses and keyboards and stuff, so that'd be a little harder to get in there. But so we'll just go over what we're doing here. So this is the plugin MT Power Drum Kit. Like I said, it's all free. Gives you kind of a simple setup here, but perfect for a metal setup. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but pretty much what I did, I just kind of set the mixer just a little differently. This is pretty much default, except the kick went up, and so did the snare, and then but everything else I kind of have it set up a little differently. So just overview of this, it's pretty much just that and mixer. If you're trying to just do like grooves and stuff, just kind of work some riffs out or something, you can shred over some grooves. But we'll get to the main setup of what I'm doing here. So this is how it's originally set up. It just comes in as a single track for the MIDI. But for me, I have a kick and a cymbal bus as separate channels. The way you set that up is if you go back in here and go to the mixer, you can just see these different outs here. So I have out 2 on kick, and then the cymbal bus, which is ride through the china over here, I have out 3. So then you can come, you just insert a new MIDI track, and then select where it's coming from, which is the drum track, and then select 3 or 4. I said the outputs don't line up, but like this would be essentially like 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and so on. So everything, so those have their own. Then I can kind of just adjust by track. So want a little more kick in the present or in the mix. So just boost that by 1 dB here, and then the cymbals boosting that by 2 dBs, and then the drum track. And so everything else pretty much is just a half a dB. So just to give you kind of a sound of what these sound like, here's just a little clip here. It would help if I had the I forgot you can't just solo this, so. So pretty just a standard metal track there, or sorry, metal sound. So in the full mix, this is what we're dealing with here. Alright, but so that's pretty much in the mix. This is off the instrumental called Fractal Dissonance. Pretty technical song. I just kind of went all out and just wanted to have some fun. So we have like polyrhythms with like the bass playing like 7/8 and drums playing 3/4, and it's kind of all over the place. So I figured this would be pretty good. It's pretty technical drumming in here. Kind of the benefit of having a program is you can kind of go wild and do anything that's like not humanly possible. So that's pretty much the setup of getting everything, and then you just go in here, unfold this, and pretty much you just click, like you want to add a snare there, take it out. Each one of these, I was lazy. You can set each one of these up and like name it instead of just being like off a piano. I just memorized where everything was just because that's the easiest thing for me. But yeah, I mean, you just click and drag and come up. You can just like copy and paste. Like, say if you want to make that, just. I mean, it's pretty simple. You just copy and paste that. So I mean, once you get the rhythm down and like what you want, you can just kind of go throughout. I mean, it's pretty simple. other than that, I mean, this is probably gonna be the easiest one to talk about, like recording and mixing, because like I said on the bass video, I always add like a reverb, the same settings, like same room and everything, just to get everything a little bit more together and make it sound like it was in the same room. So I did that, and then yeah, that's drums. Just kind of plug and play on that one. It's pretty easy once you get the timing down. Like the actual use of all of this is simple. I didn't have like tempo changes or anything too much in here. Um, but like it kind of offers everything. You can have like here I have a settings of different, like the hits don't all hit at the same decibel level, so it kind of sounds like a little bit more like a human's playing it, just because everything's not the exact same sound. And I noticed going through this plugin, they actually have like they sampled like 2 or 3 hits per each drum. So even without using that using the volume leveling down here, it still comes in like it just randomizes what sample of the hit it uses. So it kind of just gives it more of a natural sounding tone to it as well. So yeah, highly recommend that plugin. I mean, free metal drums. Even if you're not trying to do an album, but you just want to like try to work stuff out or like home like projects, it's a pretty good way to do it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had. Like I said, pretty quick, pretty easy, just plug and play. So see you guys in the next video.